Hello, this is a guide for Gladiator Begins on how to refine equipment for free. I'm going to explain the basics of refining as well because there's really not a whole lot of information on this game, and even the game manual doesn't explain refining at all. So it is probably a good idea to go over the basics before we get into the bigger things. Here we can see the three different types of equipment in the game. We have normal with the white text, we have the yellows, and we have the blues. Blues and yellows are mostly refining materials. Yellows are just better versions of the blue because they get a stat bonus right here. To get a blue to become yellow and give it a stat boost, you want to match. If you press square when looking, you get these symbols. You want to match all three of these symbols for stat boosts. Right here, orange gives endurance. The greens, I think, are strength, and then the yellows are vitality. And I can show that here in a sec. Let's find something right here. Broad pike with this, and then we get a strength boost right there, and it turns yellow. The other thing with matching symbols is you will also increase the weapon stats, not just the bonus stat that you get, but these stats right here that the cursor's pointing at, your attack, defense, and weight. If you match all three, you get a +3 to them. See, 47, match all three, +3, 50. If you only match one, you only get +1, and then if you intentionally don't match, you get a subtraction, which is also useful if you don't want the stuff to weigh too much. But weight also plays into your destructive power, which is how easily your stuff knocks the enemy's equipment away, or how easily their stuff knocks your things away. Once you have the stat boost for the yellow equipment, you don't need to keep the symbols all matched, and you will still keep the stat boost. Like right here, it's changing this symbol and it still keeps this stat boost. Also, your maximum stats for these here are 99 each, and then this one, your player stat increase, maxes out at 50. And then if you do some math, you find out that 50 strength, if you're using something with that, I don't have an example. 50 strength anyway does not counteract the 99 weight, so plan accordingly. But all that being said, I probably will listen back to that and realize that I was all over the place and did a terrible job of explaining it, and then plan on re-recording it and never do it. So we will get on to the good stuff: how to refine for free. We are going to use the tuna that I just bought, and we are going to make it a very powerful fish. Step 1 of the process is going to be make sure you have a good supply of money and materials. So it is free, but it requires a hefty first investment, unfortunately. But you will not lose any money or materials in the process. So once you have a decent chunk of change saved up and lots of blues and yellows, you're going to save your game and start refining. I'm not going to make you watch me refine this fish all the way to 99, but I will show the refinement process a little bit. Now, the first thing I want to do is balance the stats out, because that makes it easier. Once you get to 99 in a certain stat, you can't increase that stat anymore. So the best thing to do is balance the stats out initially and then increase them all at once. You can, if you don't do that, you can end up with something like this, where now you need something with just this symbol matching and no symbol over here to increase the stats more. But we're gonna avoid that and just balance out all these stats right at the start. Alright, now we've got the stats pretty much balanced out. From here we just make some endurance equipment, chuck those on it. Alright, here we are with a fully refined tuna. The next thing we're going to do is save over a different slot. And then we're going to quit to the title. Go to Battle Arena, Exchange Character, Export. And we're going to pick the save we just did. And then we're going to set this guy up so that he's absolutely terrible. You don't need a helmet. You don't need anything. And then we're going to give him our refined equipment as a weapon. And also, to make things even easier, we're going to give him skills he won't even be able to use. Export character to a new slot, and then we are going to import. I don't know why they made exported and imported characters two different things, because you can't do anything with the export data. Let's see, he's got his tuna. We're going to import into this save here. Now we are going to load the first save that we did, not the one with the refined equipment, but the one with all of the money still there. Then we will do anything with a versus right here. Those have a chance of the imported character showing up. So we're just going to skip right there, and I guarantee it's not going to happen this time. Nope. Maybe. Maybe we'll get it here. Probably not. Challenger. Yes! Alright. Finally, we got it. A challenger appeared. Now we're fighting the dude that has absolutely terrible equipment. He will drop it upon being defeated because it's in his hand. That's a little pro tip if you're duping armor. Make them equip it as weapons. and you don't have to worry about knocking it off from them. There. Now we get a fish in this save for free. Ish. All it took was that initial investment of right around 2 million money and a whole bunch of stuff. But we still have all of it. We still have 400 and whatever pieces of equipment and 3 million gold. And we have our tuna. So you can, as soon as you have your initial investment, you can refine pretty much a full set of whatever you want and get it all back for free by duping in such a way. Anyway, that's the whole tutorial of how to get free, fully refined equipment in this game that 7.5 people play right now. Have fun. And since I hardly get to show, this is my Winnie the Pooh build. We've got a pot of honey, a whole fur bear suit, and a bee shield. It's awesome.